is this frequency in use, W7MS?
W7MS and U6F.
Well, good morning, Ron. Nice to know we're making it up the street, but sounded good this morning. You're not using your new D104 microphone. I heard you on playback.
Yeah, well, Ethan made out good on that one. You know, he made out good. I gave him a fair price for an unknown D104 and some knobs. Well, at least the knobs work just fine. The microphone, it's good for, I marked it for disguising your voice. So when I want to get on the air clandestine, I'll plug that one in.
Okay, well, thanks for the explanation, but maybe Net Controls here to read the preamble, W7MS. Good morning.
K0 DWC. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, there's Chuck, and he's not clandestine. He sounds just like a date night.
Well, I detect a certain amount of first cup of coffee syndrome.
First cup of coffee syndrome, that's it. Net Control just showed up, W4DVC.
Good morning, Ron, Mike, Chuck, W4DVQ here. I haven't even put my sip on my coffee yet, but just sitting here listening, waiting to see who all else is going to show up before I get the net going. So hang in there, guys. W4DVQ is clear.
Okay, good morning, Carla.
Good morning, Bill. I got you down as well. I got Braun in number 1 spot in U6F. I got Mike, W7MS in the number 2. And I have Chuck, K0DWC in the number 3. And then I have you, Bill, in the number 4 spot in 6BCT. Is there anybody else that'd like to be an early check-in? Please come now.
W6MQI.
Good morning, Dave. W6MQI. I got you in the number 5. Is there anybody else would like to check in early, be in the number 6 spot? Please come now. Okay, by the time I read the spiel for the net, maybe somebody else will show up. So, good morning, guys. This is the Vintage Military Radio Net. This is W4DVQ. My name is Carla, and I will be your net control this morning. We will be operating on 3974 KC. The Vintage Military Radio Net is a roundtable AM net that provides an opportunity for hams to operate their vintage military radio gear on the air. Military gear is encouraged, but certainly not required. Check-ins will be given a number that can be used in the handoff. I will call for check-ins at the end of each roundtable session. If anyone has anything for a sale or a want, please mention it during your turn in the roundtable session. So, I guess I need to read it one more time. I have Ron in the number 1 spot, NU6F. I have Mike in the number 2, W7MS. And I have Chuck in the number 3, K0GWC. Bill number 4, N6BCP. And Dave in the number 5, W6MQI. Is there anybody else would like to be on the first round table or the first round? Be number 6, come now.
WA7, YBS.
Okay, I got Steve, W6SST in the number 6, and I have Henry, WA7YBS in the number 7. Good morning, fellas. Is there anybody else who'd like to check in and be number 8? Please come now. Okay, so W4DBQ here, Mexico. I am on the ART-13 and the ARR-7 and the D104 amplified mic. So that's me about this morning. I can't read the power. That's power. About 300. Okay, go ahead and well, let me check one more time. Anybody want to be number 8? Please come now. Okay, so I'm going to hand it to you, Ron, NU6F, to take it. This is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor, Quebec.
Okay, good morning, Carla and Chuck, Mike, and Bill, Dave, Steve, Henry. Sounds like the same gang as last week. We're stuck in a rut for Sunday mornings. Well, anyhow, let's see. It's about 320 watts of T3 AM and the R390A, the long wire, and the D104, one of the good ones. Well, so in the graveyard of D104 elements, I've got 4 of them. I think I should have a drawing for those. That's it. There'll be a door prize. Get one of the semi-functioning D104s. All right. Someone that is functioning. Oh, wait a minute. Let me take a real quick check here and see. I'm going to do a turn and burn, and okay, there we go. Signal levels look about normal for over to KPH. Okay, take it away, Mike. W7MS on the Mystery Radio in U6F.
Well, thank you, Ron, NU6F in the vintage military Nevada military net. W7MS. Well, good morning to you, Ron, of course, and Carla, Chuck, Bill, Dave, Steve, and Henry. And for Henry, we'll compare, it's currently 12 degrees in beautiful downtown Golden Valley, so that's the setup here, temperature-wise at least. But running the TCS equipment this morning, we'll see 30S1, about 250 watts of carrier, using the remote and dynamotor power supplies, but the only non-compliance situation here is I'm using the LM386 modified microphone amplifier widget, so I have to be plugged into the front of the radio, not the remote. So maybe too much information, but good signal to this point, and I guess, some on-frequency activity a little later than usual, but it was, I was starting to wonder if I should have slept in again this morning like I did last Sunday, but I'm glad I'm here. Trust me. So over to you, Chuck. K0DWC W7MS.
Okay, Mike. W7MS K0DWC. Well, TCS is sounding fantastic as usual. It's cool that you're running it through the remote. That's what I do with mine too. I think that's cool to do that. But you're sounding good. Ron's sounding really good on the T3. And, oh yeah, I should say my good mornings. Good morning to Carla. Good morning to Ron, Mike, Bill, Dave, Steve, and Henry. Heard everybody so far. Conditions seem pretty good this morning. I'm running the same equipment as Carla. We're running it through an inverted V, and it's right around 300 watts. You know, like Henry said before, you know, it's a W4 watt meter, so you know if you're off a little bit, you don't have a null, you don't know really what it is. But anyway, it's somewhere in that area. But, we'll keep it going. Bill sounded like he was pretty clear and relatively crisp. So, Bill, take it away. N6 PCT in the group. DWC.
Bill, I was hearing you pretty good. That's a rarity. About your AC radio, filters and such. I don't normally hear you that well. Anyway, morning everybody. Dave in Livermore. Carla. Your 13 sounded good. Ron, the T3 is punching through. And Mike, TCS set up. Have the exact same thing here today. The amplifier's a little different. I'm going to amplifier. And Chuck, sounded good. Bill, of course, I already mentioned that. Steve, sounded good. And Henry, as usual. Well, it's 49 degrees here, a little bit warmer than 12, I think Mike mentioned. A little bit of a breeze picking up. And that all is good. So, let's see, over to Steve. W6XSP, W6XY.
Well, thank you, Dave. Good morning, everybody. And I'm station at the control station. It's in the mid-40s here. Longer than expected. I was expecting upper 30s, but it's kind of nice. Anyway, this is Steve, W6XSP, north of Santa Rosa. Using the usual Collins 32V1 transmitter, about 85 watts out into the dipole. Receiver is the 1970 12A1. Microphone is unamplified D104. So, oh boy, it's been an interesting all the fire we had hands down in this road. No one has lost their lives so far, and it sounds like they're doing better, so that's good. Hopefully the fire will get put out. night and Wednesday morning. I lost 2 of my wire amps, and they're back up again, but I don't know for how much longer. Using antennas up here more and more often. I don't know if it's the windstorms or just the branches on the trees getting bigger. I'm not sure. Anyway, over to Henry. 97 YBS, W6 SSP. Okay. Steve, W6SSP, WA7YBS, doing a little tweaking while I'm talking, and that should be a little bit better there. I know you guys probably can't hear the difference, but, well, as far as the meter reading comfort, it looks better to me. Well, good morning to all. Good signals from everyone. I had to use this exalted carrier for Bill, but once I did that, Bill was nearly 100% copy. Q4.9. Can't beat that. Like pretty good conditions. And, well, I'm on the 32D3 Collins transmitter, running about 115 watts of carrier power to the cooling array. It's 2 halfways in phase, and 230-foot antenna center fed with 108 feet of cable line. And the receiver is the military connection to the Royal Army, right? British Royal Army. It's the Raycal RA-17L. This is the same station that I ran last week. Lazy this morning, didn't want to do anything different. This was all hooked up. I had plans. I even got the Resnor heater functional, working. I did that Friday in anticipation of going out to the shop and running the big rig, W6 MIT big rig. But it was 10 degrees this morning, so I didn't really want to go out an hour early and turn the Resnor on. It takes about 4 or 5 minutes of prep to get the Resnor to run, and I didn't want to do that. So here we are upstairs and running the same station we were in last week. Collins Springfield Raycal RA-17L cooling array D104 microphone that has an original replacement element, and that from a static, when a static was still in business. I think I bought this element in 1990 or 1991, somewhere around there. You could still get them from a static, and for a long time, after a static went out of business, all you could get was Kubitones, crystal elements to put in there, and those things sound crummy. You have to go through about a dozen Kubitones to find one that sounds okay. The rest of them sound awful. But now, Kubitone is so I don't know, Ron, maybe even those kind of defective, a little bit not so hot static elements might be more desirable than a Kubitone. So you never know. And you can't get new Kubitones, and it doesn't matter anyway, because the new ones weren't any better than the earlier ones. Well, enough about Kubitone. We'll send it back to Carla. Let's see, W4DBQ, W7YBS.
It's WA7YBS. This is Whiskey 4 Delta Victor, Quebec. Well, let me see if there's anybody would like to check in on this first round and be number 8. Please come now.
Well, that's who I make number 8. I had all kinds of knobs and switches messed up, and I'm glad I didn't transmit, so I figured out I wasn't even running AM. It's K6 VXY, King 6 Victor, X-Ray Yankee.
Good morning, Vern. You're so cute. K6VXY. I got you in a number 8. Is there anybody else out there that'd like to check in and be number 9? Please come now. Go ahead, Vern, and make a transmission and send it back to me, W4DVQ. Go ahead, Vern.
Okay, I was checking out a 2-pole switch this morning, seeing what it did. It's a Daiwa switch, and it was doing all the things I wanted it to do for the switch between transmitter and receiver. It's K6VXY Vern in Pine Mountain Lake or Groveland, California, running about, what is that? That's right at that dial there. What is it? Close to 100 watts. Anyhow, SP200 or IC7200 and handy little tuner. And I messed with yesterday a little bit. I think I can make it higher just by adjusting the ropes, but it's right now it's very near 40 feet at the apex, so it's pretty good. We've had almost 11 inches of rain this year, and I did order, then and decided not to, then reordered the rig I'm going to be working with. I downloaded the manual. It's a Marauder HX1. It's a sideband and all-mode thing that Heathkit put out around 1962. At least that's the year I got off the manual I downloaded. But they have a site where you can download. It's about 130 pages. All kinds of alignment procedures and different things you can do. Although the owner of this one I've had quite a bit of communication with, claims it's working, and I want to get that on the air soon. Might take a couple weeks, but I'm going to probably get a Variac to bring it up slowly, although claims that he was working with a ham and they got 58 watts out of the thing on 10 meters, so maybe there's not the big capacitor problem with that rig, but I was thinking I'll take any advice or tips, but I'm thinking it'd be a very good idea to have a Variac when I get that in about a week or so, to use a Variac to bring it up slowly like I did with the DX100 I had years ago, and that worked out really well. And so I'll have all kinds of updates and project reports to share with everyone. So anyhow, yeah, this works good. And instead of running control carrier, which is down modulation, I'll be up modulating. They claim it runs around 75 watts output. We'll see. It uses 6146s, which I'm familiar with from all my good stuff. So. Let's see. I turn it back to Ned, and I got a piece of paper here. I'll copy down the order. And good morning to everyone. This is K6VXY, Vern, Victor, Easy, Roger, Nancy in Groveland, California. Back to Carla. Good morning.
Okay, K6VXY, W4DBQ here. Is there anybody else would like to check in and be number 9 before we get the second round going? Please come now. Okay, nothing learned. So, okay, I had something to say, but it left me. I don't recall what it was. Maybe I need another cup of coffee and think about it all over again. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and get the second round going and hand it to Ron, NU6S, to take it. This is W4DBQ.
Okay, good deal, Carla. And sounds like we're anticipating number 9, maybe Robert, MKA. Well, yeah, there was kind of a weird USB, real rapid fluttering on the Dayton signals, but the peaks are way up there, so we'll see what it looks like. Vern, good deal. Well, 40 foot up on the antenna. And, you know, but that's nothing to the squirrels. Another foot or two, 10 feet. Yeah, they still got their eyes on that rope. It eventually has to come back down to the ground. So, yeah, they can nibble away at it. Well, and good deal on that Heathkit Marauder. That'll be interesting to see that if it works. And yeah, we'll see if you sound different. But sounding good so far. Okay, Henry, on the Kobe tone elements, well, yeah, who knows? I've got, like I say, I think of the graveyard here of D104 elements, I got two really good ones, both about the same as this one, and I got the 4 DOAs. You know, and you open them up and they look just fine. The elements look fine, but yeah, the proof is in the sound. And okay, on the Resnor, well, you save a little bit on the propane bill, and at least that Resnor is not susceptible to RFI. You know, that's old-time technology. So that much is good about there in the shop. Steve, okay, on the weather there, yeah, 40s. Well, it's been unseasonably warm here too for the last several weeks. Enjoying it. Sun is out. It's been peaking in the low 50s, and normally it's peaking in the high 30s. So, yeah, it's our a little taste of early spring. And Dave, sounding good. I got something to remember you by. I got the creeping crud cold that's going around. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, you know, I'm always the one that gets the tail end of all these colds or flus going around. Everyone else is flying over it, and I say, no, I didn't get it yet, but I know it's coming. So, sure enough, yesterday it showed up. And it's got me dragging a little bit, but no biggie. Bill, I concur. For some reason, the audio sounded better. I'm not sure why, but it sounded much clearer. So whatever you did to the microphone or the radio, don't mess with it. Leave it just the way it is. Mike, TCS powered, well, on the remote. So how far away is the remote from the radio? Feet or another room away. And I've continued on my ongoing experience with 630 meters, and I think I'm going to run out of motivation to do much more in a little bit. All I can say is, yeah, it works. There's nobody on, period. The reverse beacon network is the only way that you can send CW and actually see where you're heading out to. And which I use the reverse beacon network a lot on DX. And here on the other bands, every morning I'm working the gray zone, stuff to Indonesia, China, that direction, and a couple of European openings. But there'll be none of that on 630 meters. And 10 meters has been open most of the days, so the lower bands like 40 have just been a complete wasteland. Everybody's gone up to the bands where they're doing better. And yeah, as far as on 630 meters, look in the reverse beacon network, just put in a wild card. Search all 630 meter stations that have reported into the reverse beacon network in the last week. And you'll find only 4 stations, 2 in Europe, 2 in the U.S. That's it. NU6F, W3LPL, and a couple of German stations. That's it. Nobody else is on CW. Everything else is digital. So. And the Whisper network, same thing, running probably ineffective 4 or 5 milliwatts. And yeah, the best is 780 miles, which also is the longest path on the Whisper reports that between Europe or the U.S. So I'm just guessing that yeah, there's not much on. When I get I got the amplifier going, or I got the amplifier mostly wired up now for 630 meters to get up to 100 or 200 watts, depending how much I drive it, down at 630. And I'm going to be using the Whisper to drive that. And I think I probably will end up with 1 watt ERP by putting 150 watts into the antenna. Got the ground resistance, or I get the antenna resistance down to 39 ohms from the original 140 ohms. So I think I'm at the point of very little improvement can be made from any more radios, which is fine with me. I'm tired of digging and getting covered with mud. All right, with that, take it away, Mike, who has been the other side of 630 meters. Although in a junk box, he's probably got that many meters. W7MS, and you success.
Well, thank you, Ron. You left me speechless. NU6F in the Nevada Military Net, W7MS. Well, good morning again to all. Good report and update for Henry. It's now 11 degrees, so I think you win the contest this morning for lows. And probably Steve's going to win the contest for wind activity. It's been relatively high pressure here the last couple of days, so cool, cold evenings and mornings and no wind, which is okay by me. But well, lots to comment on here. Good morning, Vern. Great to hear you, and looking forward to updates on your Marauder project and those 6146s coming up. Henry, fun on the Resnor, and not wishing to get up at the pre-crack of doom to fire up the Resnor to get the space heated up. It sounded mighty fine this morning. Steve, it's some irony there, considering all the slash and non-burn on your landscaping, that you're suddenly encountering wind-driven antenna issues. But I guess obviously you still got some antenna supports there on the property, so good on that. Dave, great. You know there's another TCS out there, and you're doing well. And Bill, yeah, Bill was unusually Q4 at 9/10 this morning. I will agree with Henry on that. And of course, Chuck and Carl are busy fighting over the microphone, so that's okay too. Good morning to you guys. Well, a few comments here on the base response in the microphone. I've got the same issue with this guy. Notice that on various transmitting devices on playback, I'm missing the bottom couple of hundred hertz of base response. So I think this specific D104 element may be headed the same direction. It's just a little bit slower in school than the one that Ron picked up here recently, but it seems to be maybe headed that direction. And any comment on Kobe tone elements gets me into the Bob Heil rant. And of course, for most folks, they know where I'm heading, and that's those HC4 and HC5 elements that were Kobe tone elements that he washed and then put his own sticker on. And I think they were available from DigiKey for just a couple of bucks. He amplified the price considerably because, it's that sticker. And I've noticed in the last year or so they were going on eBay for over $100 a piece. So if we'd only known, I would have ordered a large quantity of those elements and stashed them away. Probably the microphone element equivalent of a ET4C or a 211 as far as an investment possibility. And projects here, well, my Manhattan project is proceeding quite well, and it's on track for maybe we'll be making a trip down to New Mexico for a detonation on my Manhattan project. We'll see how that's going on that. Just a few comments on Hammond Hi-Fi. It was great to see Henry and Sharon there last week, or was it the week before? Just by coincidence, as we were all cruising the aisles and looking at stuff. But a shock to me. I rescued two 32B2s that are in, I would say, very good condition, but the proprietor had made the decision that he wasn't going to ship, so he pulled them out of the cabinet, sold the cabinet, or is selling the cabinets on eBay, and he was going to send the B2s off to the junk man. So those are sitting in my garage. So don't ask me why, other than that ultimately, if they did end up with Charles the junk man in the El Rancho flea market, I didn't want to see that happen. So that's my story in that category. So Chuck, what's going on? K0DWCW7MS.
Okay, Mike, W7MS, K0DWC. Good for you, Mike. Way to get those away from the junk. That's great. That's great. Unfortunate that the dang-gone cabinets didn't go with it, but I'm sure you would have snapped them up anyway. But great job rescuing those. 32B2s, those are pretty nice Collins receivers, that's for sure. I'm sure they'll be up and working in no time. I don't know how hard it is to find cabinets for those, but I think that's the 32B2. I think that's got the lid on the top to lift up and get into it, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're still sounding good. I'm starting to get just a tad of QST, not very much, negligible. And Vern, you got a very nice signal in here this morning. And Mike, I think probably the temperature that you have is probably close to what I've got here. Maybe 2 or 3 degrees warmer up from Henry and them, because Henry and them actually live on right there at the Carson River. So it's probably about 12 or 13 degrees here as well. So yeah, it's funny. You know, you look over and it's only like a mile, maybe a mile and a half at most. Sometimes I get a pretty good temperature there. Sometimes it's 5 or 6 degrees. Anyway, hey, well, it's really good. I mean, we got a couple of good sounding TCSs on here this morning. We've got a couple of 32Bs, and we've got I like to say 2 AR-213s, not 1 AR-213. Two people. Anyway, I can tell you 2 really sounding good, and Bill, you came in real good there in the first round, so I can't wait to see what you're doing this round. So anyway, we'll keep it going, and Carla's got her second cup of coffee, and we'll go from there. So with that, I will send it over to Half Moon Bay, to Bill, M6BCT, to take it. Go ahead, Bill.
BCT, are you out there? Go ahead, Bill. Anybody hear Bill? Am I talking over him?
PCT W6SQI. Alrighty. That's interesting, Bill. I see you on the SDR, but you're going through Chicago, Illinois instead of a local provider here. What's going on there? Anyway, everybody's hanging in there. And, sorry, Ron, that I put the X on you. Crud. Might last probably first week was the worst. Everything seems to be well, not much going on here. I'll give you guys, Ron, you might. Never worked with the setup, but it's going through a 10-foot cable over the power supply and 10 feet back, so technically it's and I guess that's it. I'll quit rambling. And good morning for Vern. Got to say good morning to you, Vern. You're sounding good this morning. And sounds like your antenna's still in the air. You acquired a new radio there, so that'll be fun to play with. So W6SSP.
Okay, Dave, yeah, W6MQR, W6SSP. Yeah, sometimes it's a good call, too. You know, I know people really well. Anyway, well, listen, I'm going to try to make sense of my notes here. Have fun on it. I always make notes. Ron, first of all, yeah, that's no fun. You know, this time of year and into the spring, it's not too good. And by the way, your audio sounds really good. Certainly for the TVC. Too bad the cabinet point was. They're kind of important, but probably not critical to less important if the material is freezing or shielded and stuff. Don't trash those. If you get tired of looking at them, I'll take one or even two off your hands at Lincoln if you get tired of tripping over them by then. We'll make sure in Michigan in September. And I've been kind of looking for one of the documentation is horrible. And I found that if you load a program that's on the internet, you can find out it requires one set of drivers, and that set of drivers requires other set of drivers. You use such drivers. He was really frustrated. And I have one sitting right now. My suggestion would be don't even mess with it. Just replace the filter faster than that. And you want to put a little back So, let's see, what's on the bench this week? It's okay, they work really well, unless they're frozen. And then it's even more of a thing when that's work really well. That's about it. So over to Henry. W87YDF,
KB0W, Kilo Bravo 0 Whiskey, GB0W in South Lake Tahoe. Okay. Well, very good on everybody. Bill was down a little bit, and Steve was down quite a bit, but came back at the very end. I mean, it was all Q5 copy and stuff, but noticeable signals down somewhat. And Okay. Well, good morning to Vern. Good strong signal from you, Vern, and yeah, looking forward to the Marauder. I can't remember ever hearing one. And you know, the one that he came out just before the Marauder was that Apache, and I had one of those, and I gave it to a ham down in Minden, and he got it running and had it on the air until he found out that his next door neighbor was an avid television watcher that watched television 24 hours a day. And of course this was 30 years ago when you know, that was a little different scenario than it is today. But at any rate, yeah, that was kind of the end of that Apache being operated. But yeah, we look forward to hearing the Marauder. Yeah, 630 meters, Ron. I don't know. Everything on medium wave is just kaput. I mean, I can't hear hardly anything. MOG is the only NDB that pounds in here, and maybe RYN down in Tucson. That's a 400-watt beacon. And those are the only two. I mean, it is absolutely dead. The good old days of hearing 2 or 3 NDBs on the same frequency and tuning in, you know, 1 or 2 per minute. Yeah, I don't think that is going anymore on NDBs. And of course, I'm the same way when I tune up to 630 meters, you know, on up to 472 KC. It's I never hear anybody. I never hear any CW. All I hear is carriers, which I assume are digital modes. And so, yeah, it's too bad that, you know, when 630 first opened up, there was a lot of CW guys on there, probably for the first year. And then it dwindled down, and it got to the point where you couldn't get on CW. The minute you did, there was a JT9 signal come right on top of you. And so, yeah, pretty much wiped out all the CW guys, unless there's a sched. If you have a schedule, well, you're a little better luck. But yeah, the whole below 500 KC, I don't know if it's conditions or what, but I mean, I've been listening regularly, and I haven't heard much of anything. And that's all the way down to 200 kilocycles. You get down to maybe 20 kilocycles, now you're talking. VLF is going great guns. You can even copy the Russian Alpha signals during the day. Of course, you know, VLF doesn't matter day or night. And those are the RSDN-20 navigation signals out of Russia. And so those, you know, they're on 12, 14, and 15.6 kilocycles. So, you know, at least that area of the spectrum isn't affected. Yeah, 32V2 parts. The 32V2 part set that I got came out of the Tunnelman storage unit in Carson City. And it was a mess. I mean, it was a real disaster. Not only had it belonged to a CBer, it was out in the sun, and so the dials were just darkened beyond belief. And then it was put into a leaky shed, and water dripped on it for probably a decade or two. And then the mice got into it. It was just an absolute disaster. But it was a great part set. It supplied a lot of stuff for this 32V3. It was a very late 32V2, so it was almost like a V3, but it wasn't. And so anyway, it really saved this 32V3. And so folks can't do it. Got to have part sets. With that, let me turn it over to Vern, the Marauder owner, to be K6BXY WA7YBS.
Break? Can I break in, Vern?
6 KB0W, South Lake Tahoe.
Okay, Frank, I got you in the number 9 right after Vern, K6VXY. And Vern, just be sure and hand it over to Frank, KB0W. So go ahead, Vern. K6VXY to take it, W4DBQ.
Okay, I got it. It's K6VXY, and Frank, I'll turn it over to you. Let me write that down. KB6W. Oh, wow. One letter. Wow. Anyhow, so it's K6VXY. I want to thank you all for the tuning. And from Henry on progress. I'll be more like one of the groups transmitter. A lot of that has been done here. I've been doing a lot of antenna stuff and acquiring stuff. Although I did a little bit of work on that SB200 to get that going. The biggest thing I think was the vacuum tubes and the files. Filter caps. I gotta look at that section and see what's in there. I looked at the manual on that. You know, the alignment procedures, some of the assembly procedures. They got a lot of knurled, I call them knurled drive for the VFO and for the tuning. It's like a bunch of mechanical stuff. I think the older one had some sort of strap in it, and there was some complaints about it, metal strap that they used to make the dial move, or the VFO capacitor change values. How's that? That's what's really happening. Anyhow, and this looked like it was pretty solid, so I went for it. So that's the main thing I want. I don't want something that's going to break that easily. And I have to look in the power supply section and see what sort of caps they got. I'm hoping they've gone to electrolytics a lot. The DX100 I had would be a DX100A. And that would have had those paper caps, and I was able to bring those up. I took 2 weeks. I remember that. We were in Dublin, California at the time, and I spent a couple of weeks. I had it out in the garage on the workbench, and I think I started with 10 volts or something, 10 to 20, and I think it took a week to get up to 50 volts, and that was pretty encouraged. And you know, on the input voltage of the 110 through the variac. But anyhow, that worked out well. I shouldn't have sold it, but we were moving to Idaho later on. I did use it a lot. And I got better reports on my DX60 with the mods it had, and then using the 811 amplifier as far as the quality. And Bill, as far as your audio goes, it's a little better, but maybe something changed back, because I do understand you better. I wasn't on the air right away, maybe something changed. And for Dave, MQI, I'm not sure what movie you meant about Kirk Douglas to look at. If you can let me know on the next transmission what that was. And yeah, I'm not sure what it's about. And Steve, you said must have just replaced your filter caps. You had a problem with that. I've been lucky and I haven't messed with that much over. And so Forza and Henry is 32-3 project sounds interesting. You got a little radio that you found and you're able to pull parts out of it and make it better. That's kind of neat. And about how long it'd have to be for halfway, but many feet. If you take and Mike, okay, I'm looking forward to that. I've got to be very careful with this because this unit came out when I was in the Navy, and I thought it was always something I really looked up to because it was an over the up to date. And Mike, also, I've been using your Radio Shack unit on 10 meters, and figured out finally what was going on with the offset on frequency is that there's a fine tuning. I mean, you got to set that pretty close to 12 o'clock. Otherwise, because you're moving your transmitter and receiver when you're doing that. And I was off quite a bit, but I worked Texas and Illinois, and then I worked the station, that's all on Upper Sideband. And then I worked Virginia, and then I went for it in the afternoon. I didn't have success on the first one or two I tried, but I talked to Japan for a little bit, and they said it sounded good. It's just a little weak, because what I thought I got to do is probably figure out how I can hook. I changed the power, because there is a power control you can adjust, and drive my FB 200 on 10 meters and see how that works. But boy, 10 meters is quite active. It's kind of neat. I used to operate that a lot. I mean, almost exclusively for quite a while there in the late 80s on that cycle. Oh no, late 70s into the 80s, well, that's quite a while ago. It was on a W Brent. Oh, the signals are strong. A lot of you guys on a voice speaks to 20 over. So KB6W, this is K6BXY. Go ahead.
Okay, K6BXY, KB0W in South Lake Tahoe. Thank you, and thank you, Carla, for getting me in tune. It's Frank up here, and I have a lot of line noise. It's the 60 cycle from the power line that's about 30 feet from the north end of my dipole is about F9, and it's I can hardly hear anybody here. Carla, you were pretty loud, and Henry, I heard a little bit of what you were saying. The public utility here, Liberty Utilities, after 2 years of complaining, I got them to replace the 1760 volt power pole that's the inlet to our subdivision with a new pole and new hardware, and it didn't make any difference at all. So I'm just too close to the power line. And unfortunately, 75 meters is pretty much useless for me up here. But anyways, I wanted to check in and say hello to everybody, and I didn't die. I am still up here and pretty much just doing CW on the upper bands where the noise is really minimal for some reason or other. Mike, it's really cold up here, Mike, and probably colder down in the valley, so I'm going to be delaying my start to probably early this afternoon, if that's okay with you. But I do plan on coming down, but I don't want to start that thing up when it's 14 degrees. It's not good for the engine. So anyways, I don't know who to turn it over to, so I'm just going to sign off and probably listen out from here and listen to what I can say. But good morning to all, and Happy New Year to all. This is KB0W, South Lake Tahoe.
KB0W, W4DBQ here. Sorry about that, guys. It's a very good break. It's so glad you checked in and having a good New Year. Thanks again, and don't be a stranger. But 73 to you. And let's see, let me make a call out and see if there's anybody would like to check in on the tail end of the second round. Please come now. Good morning, Robert. W7MK. Go ahead and make a transmission and send it to me, back up to me. Go ahead, Robert. D4 DBQ here. Let's see, that's a nice big rig you got going on there. Let me see if there's anybody else out there that would like to check in and be number 11. Please come now. Okay, nothing new. So, back up to the top. This is the 73 round, guys, so just spit out what you gotta say. So up to you, Ron, NU6F, W4 DVQ.
Okay, good deal. Well, and good morning to Robert, Tail-End Charlie on the net. That's okay. You made it, and the big black wrinkle radio, TCM and RVB. Yeah, just like the Richmond station, you're on from Grants Pass. And let's see, going down the list. Yeah, Fern, good deal on that Marauder, and no bring up with the Variac. Yeah, like I say, the Variac issues here. I've got, like I said before, my line voltage is extremely high. I often run at 248 volts with my so like here on the D3, it didn't like it. They didn't use my D plus unfortunately. So I have on several rigs here, I had to put in a big buck transformer to drop my my line voltage 15 volts. So there you go. They give you, the power companies can give you voltage, they can give you interference, and you don't have any choice of how much voltage you get or how much interference you get. And there you go. But yeah, that's frustrating when you can't do much of anything. I had, like I say, the magnets here, I would switch over to, but I can't on with the T3. It'll smoke that vacuum cap. It'll push the voltage way high on the big 10-foot diameter magnet, but it does pretty good on taking out the interference, and that's about the only solution you can do in the meantime. Henry, on the NDBs, yeah, I'm still picking up about the same amount of NDBs, AM, LGD, RYN, DC. I'm trying to think, I made a list here the other day, but yeah, I'm still picking up quite a few of those, but I think it's just like the other bands. There's just, the propagation is there, but no one's on the air. And so yeah, I'm going to bite the bullet on the digital mode after I did all this work with the antennas and the rest. So I'm going to end up, I'll try that JT9 mode. I've got the those little SDR transceivers, the MCHF that I use there on Enable. They'll run direct teaching mode. So I use those anyhow. So I will use that to a transverter. I ordered, in fact, I've got that from Australia, a little nice little PC board, and I've got most of the parts for that. So that'll be the other project. So a lot of effort into a band that may not, show up much, but at least I can say I was there. And Dave, yes, I did find that movie. I think was it The Hook? I think that was it. And I did find the movie, and yeah, like you say, they were there, but they definitely weren't in use. And let's see, I had Mike on the saves for the 32Z. Yeah, I haven't been there this week. I thought it was was it this week that Ethan was going up to Washington, Oregon to pick up some more. And we will wait and see what Goldbine stuff is there. And Steve, okay, on the tube tester with the frozen knob. Dang it. It's all dressed up and no place to go. And Dave, yeah, you're right on the AI. I notice now on most of the Google searches why it comes up with AI, and it's yeah, it's surprisingly pretty accurate on finding stuff. So I know that is the big issue, and I hear all about the quantum computing that has to go on to make that work out. And I try to wrap my head about quantum mechanics and electronics, and yeah, I think it's beyond me at this point. Well, anyhow, good hearing you guys all in here, and I hope to have some new reports on 630 meters. So with that, I'll listen out. Carla, you can ride herd on the bunch. Mike, take her away, and we're all anxiously waiting with bated breath for the James Millen transmitter. NU6F 73s and listening out.
Well, okay, Ron. Good reception. NU6F W7MS. Well, I'm going to comment on 630. I think there used to be a definition for self-abuse, but I think it also applies to your activities on 630. But nice to hear you're going to head over to the dark side and work digital, and just put it on autopilot. See if you can get DXCC in a couple of days on 630, but we'll just have to see. And comments, oh yeah, on Dave's Adreno comments in ChatGPT. Well, that's great success, because that's whenever I've addressed the Arduino issue, it's the overabundance of hardware integration, as Steve had mentioned, but also the code issues. But if you can let Master Blaster successfully write that, that's great. I think in that ChatGPT mode, I guess there's the whether it's an urban legend or whether it's becoming true, how Spotify, the music streaming service, is using ChatGPT to generate music, so they can cheat the owner of that piece of art the fraction of a penny commission if somebody listens to it. So it turns into free music, and possibly would head that business venture into profitability. Always lost money, but enough of that. And good morning, Robert. Great reception from Oregon. Great to hear you this morning on the TCM. Doing really well. And good morning to Frank, if he can hear me, KB0W. Yeah, Frank's going to do his annual, so he's going to fly his plane from Minden to Carson City for an annual, and then he's got to shoot up to Reno for some business. So we'll look forward to Frank. In Fine on Cold Starting, I was thinking back to someone I knew who was actually a landlord back in my MCI days. It's where I parked the Snowcat, was in his warehouse, but he was cold starting the Cessna one morning here in Reno, and left the magneto on as he went out to spin the prop and set it, and guess what? He became the headless landlord, which was quite a shock. Instantaneous, but also a gruesome way to depart the planet. Yeah, Henry, great on the 32V2 comments. Yeah, what was the sad part? It was a business decision on Ethan's part, but both these V2s were quite sellable and collectible in the cabinets. There was nothing wrong with them, other than that joke I made about that strange regulator tube, and you had to correct me and say, oh no, that's an OC3 or OD3, whatever you said. I was joking. That's a strange tube. Yeah, okay, we got you on that one. But let me see, and great, we don't want to forget Vern. I'm glad you're having fun with the 10-meter rig. I'm glad it went to the right person, because you know, you got a deal, but you weren't one of these offending lowball guys who were just looking for an eBay resale item. So I'm glad it found a good home. Bill was incognito on the last transmission. and Chuck and Carly were doing quite fine, and all I can say is Ron is obsessive, and obsessiveness is good, but I'll continue on with my Manhattan project. So with that, over to Chuck in 7-3 Chimrino, K0DWC W7MS.
Okay, Mike, W7MS, K0DWC. All right. Again, great job, Mike. Power transmitter, keeping some function. That's a good deal. I'm sure you're very keen and you'll do just fine. Anyway, I did want to say good morning to Frank and Brett Friesen. And good morning to Robert, W71KH with the TCM. It's good to hear another TCM station on. You and Tom there in Richmond. Pretty good signal over here in the Dayton Valley. Anyway, Frank, you were coming in really good too, if you're still listening. You were easy to keep on talking yesterday. And I hate it that 75 is their next deal. Well, your copy will hear no problem. So anyway, I'll sing my 7 please. Putting up this morning, a lot of dope. Definitely appreciate the support. Everybody have a good day today. With that, I'll say my 17. Bill, 26 BCT.
W6MQI, Dave, go ahead.
Okay. All right, Carl. Yeah, I did look at the copy of the bill at all based off the distance there. All right. Where's again here? Burn. Kirk Douglas, early 60s or something. Yeah, check KBT. I find it using it a lot more. At work that we use. Play it by ear sometimes, and start writing kind of get to know I have to know what's going on beforehand. Sure has street lights. Other than that, yeah, Steve, those knobs on that, knob, always loosening up. I'm just so afraid to touch down on the sites and fear of cracking it. That may be a little bit of my fault.
Casey, W6SSPWA7YBS. Okay, well, 73 to those stations. Fine. And, yeah, good seeing you, Mike. A week or two ago, that was Monday, I think. I don't, but it was there at Ethan's. Nice eyeball. And, interesting. Yeah, I was able to unload something there. The 51S1. I just was not impressed with that receiver at all. So I was glad to see it depart. Ethan will be able to make some money on it. Everyone will be happy. Good morning to Frank. Good signal in here, strong. He asked you about the line noise, and I don't know. That's you should try a loop for receive. The pixel loop is a real good one. You can place it wherever you want. You can null out the noise. You can do all sorts of things with the receive shielded magnetic loop. Might be a solution for you. And Robert, W7MKA, good signal in here, considering the distance. And but all signals are, on the decline, so I won't hold it. 73 to all. I'll be net control next week. So with that, I'll turn it over to Vern, K6BXYWA7YBS.
Continue on with what we were thinking of doing. Anyhow, the movie is called The Hook, and there's radios in it. I'm trying to think of the title. It was quite good as far as a lot of beats in it, and I think it was called Frequency. It's something to do with time travel, about really a time travel. A father talking to a son, and warning him about something coming up that was bad because he knew he was in the future. And since he was in the future, he knew what was going to happen. I think that was it. And there was a lot of radios, and they were running like, it looked like a SB-100 or something like that. And some other stuff. And I never talked to the manager, Charles, he says, a lot of these radios that I get here and there, have come to see us. That was the opening call. Some of the stuff we have to say over here. Make it look authentic. And that was, a long time ago he told me that. It was 10, 15 years ago. That kind of stuck with me. Okay to all, and thanks for your comments here on my upcoming project. We're looking at the alignment procedure and all that other stuff they did. Boy, that's going to be a lot to go through, but I think I'm going to go more on making sure it works, the power supply is okay, and look into the capacitors and what kind of finding a place that supplies that stuff. I do have one place for the microphone is a 2-pin jack, but I know a place where I can get that. And I might even try this microphone to start with.
Robert, it goes to you. Frank's already signed. W7MKA to take it, and then back up to me. Go ahead.